I think exercise is the single most important longevity drug we have, bar none.
If it seems as though everyone is throwing out orange juice, lifting weights barefoot, or talking about Zone 2 exercise, blame Dr. David Attia. The longevity physician, author, and podcast host who turned 50 in March has become a sensation among the health-obsessed, with a social media following that rivals some Hollywood stars and a patient roster that includes them. Attia describes his mission as helping people live well into old age, and envisions a future approach to health that prevents and delays chronic disease instead of one that treats it as it occurs. Attia's book, Outlive: The Science and Art of Longevity, has sold more than 1 million copies, according to his publisher, since it came out in March, and his podcast, The Drive, regularly ranks among the top 5 in the health and fitness category on Apple and Spotify. When asked about the biggest realization he's had while studying longevity, Dr. Attia said 50% of men and a third of women will have a heart attack, stroke, or die suddenly from one of those two, or have that event before they are 65, where a lot of people get lulled into a false sense of security. Hey, I'm in my late 40s and everything looks pretty good, therefore I don't need to do anything. You don't need a physician to help you fix your nutrition or your exercise or your sleep or your emotional health, Dr. Peter explains. In this video, we'll be talking about 5 tools of longevity he advocates for and has applied to his life, including his 5 rules for longevity, what he eats for breakfast, lunch and dinner, the supplements he takes daily, and his workout routine. Dr. Attia's 5 rules for longevity. Number 1. Eat less. Many leading longevity experts associate eating less with a longer life. Why? It reduces your risk of neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and cancer. Plus, eating less through specific mechanisms like caloric restriction, dietary restriction, and fasting can trigger autophagy, a process that recycles damaged cells that's linked to a longer, healthier life. Number 2. Cut the junk. Put down the Cheetos. Quality matters as much as quantity. The elements that constitute the SAD, or standard American diet, are almost as devastating to most people as tobacco when consumed in large quantities as intended: added sugar, highly refined carbohydrates with low fiber content, processed oils, and other very densely caloric foods, says Attia. However, he's quick to clarify that not all processed foods are the devil. Almost everything we eat, aside from fresh vegetables, is processed to some degree. For example, cheese is a processed food invented as a way to preserve milk, which would otherwise spoil quickly without refrigeration, he says. The real problem is, you guessed it, junk food like candy, chips, packaged goods, and soda. To avoid the SAD, Attia offers a simple fix: shop the outer rim of the grocery store rather than the center aisles. If there is one type of food that I would eliminate from everyone's diet if I could, it would be fructose-sweetened beverages, including both sodas and fruit juices, which deliver too much fructose too quickly to a gut and liver that prefer to process fructose slowly, he says. Just eat fruit and let nature provide the right amount of fiber and water. Number 3. Get more protein. The first thing you need to know about protein is the standard recommendations for consumption are a joke, says Attia. Right now, the US recommended daily allowance, or RDA, is 0.8 per kilogram of body weight per day. This may reflect how much protein we need to stay alive, but it's a far cry from what we need to thrive, he adds. While some longevity experts argue eating less protein can boost longevity, Attia argues the primary studies that suggest this are in mice. In humans, low protein in the elderly leads to low muscle mass, yielding mortality and worse quality of life, according to Attia. So, how much protein do you need? It varies from person to person, says Attia. In my patients, I typically set 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight per day as the minimum, which is twice the RDA, but more may be even better. The data suggests that for active people with normal kidney function, 1 gram per pound of body weight per day, or 2.2 grams per kilogram per day, is a good place to start, he says. Number 4. Use a continuous glucose monitor. Carbs shouldn't be labeled as good or bad. It's more about how your body individually responds to them, depending on your metabolism, specifically your insulin sensitivity. Your tolerance to carbs is likely different from that of your neighbor, friend, or spouse. Regardless of your tolerance, it's essential to reduce the variability in blood glucose that inevitably occurs day to day and hour to hour. How? Try Attia's go-to tool, a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM. The power of CGM is that it enables us to view a person's response to carbohydrate consumption in real time and make changes rapidly to flatten the curve and lower the average. Number 5. Drink less alcohol. Alcohol serves no nutritional or health purpose, but is a pure hedonistic pleasure that needs to be managed, says Attia. According to Attia, the less alcohol the better. It's especially disruptive for people who are overnourished for 3 reasons. It's an empty calorie source that offers zero nutritional value. The oxidization of ethanol delays fat oxidization, which is the exact opposite of what we want if we're trying to lose fat mass, and drinking alcohol very often leads to mindless eating, he says. The fact that it's a potent carcinogen and has been associated with Alzheimer's doesn't help either. However, Attia, who enjoys a quality sip of wine or tequila from time to time, has some practical advice. If you drink, try to be mindful about it. You enjoy it more and suffer fewer consequences, he says. He advises no more than 7 drinks per week and staying under 2 drinks per day. What Peter Attia eats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Talking about diet, Dr. Peter has explained that nutrition boils down to a few basics. There are a few things that we know about nutrition. We know that too much of it is bad for you and too little of it is bad for you as well. We know that there are certain vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and fatty acids that are essential. If you don't have enough of these things, you will develop diseases in short order. Here's an insight of what he prefers eating throughout the day. Breakfast, usually 8 eggs, 4 whole, 4 egg whites with toast and butter. Protein shake, a high protein shake made of 24 ounces of almond milk, 50 grams of protein, and frozen fruit. Lunch, typically a chicken salad with a variety of vegetables topped with a dressing of either olive oil, balsamic vinegar, or lemon juice. He also mentioned eating 7 hard-boiled eggs and an avocado with 2 ounces of cheese. Snack, typically a cup of nuts such as macadamia nuts or an apple covered in nut butter. Dinner, varies a lot. Sometimes it's 2 heaping plates of curry stir-fry with tofu, carrots, broccoli, bell peppers, mushrooms, and zucchini along with Greek yogurt. Depending on the mood, you might have 8 ounces of steak or salmon with a large salad without any meat or nuts. And sometimes it's simply just a huge salad, having 1 pound of salmon for the meat and nuts, with a bowl of berries for dessert. The vitamins and supplements Dr. Attia takes daily. In a recent podcast, Attia reveals the supplements he takes. Looking closely, you'll notice that many of them are meant to target heart health. That's because he believes that keeping his cardiovascular system healthy is one of the most important things he can do for his body as he ages. Here are the ones he mentioned. Morning, omega-3 fish oil. 2.5 grams of EPA, 1 gram of DHA. Attia's supplement stack has changed over the years, but omega-3 fish oil has always held its place. He believes they help to reduce inflammation, lower cortisol, and boost glutathione production. He said, unless you're eating a lot of fatty fish, filling your coffers with marine omega-3 PUFA, you almost always need to take EPA and DHA supplements in capsule or oil form. Vitamin D. 5,000 IU daily. Dr. Attia has explained how vitamin D is crucial for bone health, immune function, and may have protective effects against several diseases. While talking about the level of intake, he said the suggested optimal target is 40 to 60 nanograms per ml blood level of 25-hydroxy vitamin D, but since most of the studies on vitamin D have been poorly done, you need to figure out your own optimal range for which you'll have to get your blood tested twice. Once prior to taking a supplement to understand your current position, and another sometime after the supplementation to understand its effects. Magnesium. Peter takes a total of 1 gram per day. He consumes around 0.4 to 0.5 grams of magnesium oxide or magnesium citrate daily. He usually takes 2 capsules or 143 milligrams each of magnesium chloride during the day and 2 capsules of magnesium L-threonate, 96 milligrams each before bed. The more deficient you are in magnesium, the more you will be helped in improving bone health and metabolism. B vitamins. Attia says he takes methyl B12 and methylfolate, which are methylated versions of vitamin B12 and folate, also known as vitamin B9. While he uses Jarrow formulas, the dose he takes isn't completely clear, saying he takes the standard dose. Assuming the standard dose is the lowest dose, he most likely takes 400 mcg of methylfolate and 500 mcg of methyl B12. He also takes 50 milligrams of vitamin B6 3 times a week because too much may lead to neuropathy. The reasoning behind taking these B vitamins is to lower homocysteine levels. High levels of homocysteine, an amino acid that builds up naturally in our body with age, is associated with a risk of dementia. Several human studies suggest that the benefits of omega-3s against dementia can only be incurred with sufficient vitamin B6, B9, B12 intake, which lowers homocysteine levels. Probiotic, pendulum glucose control. Attia mentions that he takes a serving of this probiotic, 2 capsules, first thing in the morning. He also mentions a clinical trial showing that the probiotic lowers glucose levels in type 2 diabetes patients. Night, ashwagandha. Peter admits to taking evening naps, prior to which he takes around 0.6 grams of ashwagandha to better the quality of his sleep. He adds that he has experienced a significant increase in his sleep ever since he has taken this supplement. Having said that, Peter also adds in a disclaimer that all supplements he uses have a clinical basis and would not necessarily work for everyone. The reason why I hate talking about this only because I notice it tends to show up online and it somehow becomes like, well, if Peter does this, you should do this or something like that. He adds, nobody understands the rationale, nobody understands the clinical history. Magnesium. As part of his nightly stack, Attia takes his second dose of magnesium L-threonate. Again, it is unclear what the exact dose is here, but he recommends taking about 2 capsules in the morning and 2 at night, so this would be a 72 milligram dose if Attia takes 2 capsules at night. Dr. Attia's exercise routine. Longevity expert Dr. Peter Attia does 4 types of workout to stay fit as he ages. His 4 pillars of fitness are strength, increasing strength by weighted carries, dead hangs or pull-ups. Stability, practices like yoga, specifically toe yoga, classic core training and balancing exercises. Steady cardio, practices like rowing, running, skipping, treadmill or cycling. High intensity exercise, exercises like deadlifts, squats, lunges, dumbbells, hip thrusts and their single leg variations. Exercise is by far the most potent longevity drug. You're going to get huge benefits when you go from nothing to probably 3 hours a week. I think you'd have to put probably an hour of that into steady state aerobic training, zone 2, an hour of that into strength training. You probably want to put 20 or 30 minutes of that into high intensity aerobic training, he says. On an episode of The Drive, Attia reveals how he fills all 4 buckets throughout the week. Monday, 10 minutes stability, 60 minutes lower body strength. Tuesday, 10 minutes stability, 60 minutes zone 2. Wednesday, 10 minutes stability, 60 minutes upper body strength. Thursday, 10 minutes stability, 60 minutes zone 2. Friday, 10 minutes stability, 60 minutes lower body strength. Saturday, 10 minutes stability, 60 minutes zone 2, 30 minutes zone 5. Sunday, 10 minutes stability, 60 minutes zone 2, 60 minutes upper body strength. Moving on, he states that as long as your metabolism is relatively healthy, practicing the ideal exercise routine is more important than consuming the ideal diet. Just as you want to retire with enough money saved up to sustain you for the rest of your life, you want to reach older age with enough of a reserve of muscle to protect you from injury and allow you to continue to pursue the activities you enjoy. He added, we need to change our approach so that we are focused on doing things right, cultivating safe, ideal movement patterns that allow our body to work as designed and reduce our risk of injury. Better to work smart than too hard, says Dr. Attia. Found Dr. Peter's longevity secrets inspiring? Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and share the word by sharing it with your friends. Thanks for watching.